Hello everyone, welcome to Business Live, and we've got to bring you the stories we filed for you by way of lineup. And a litre of petrol is now selling within the 9 cedis range at the pumps, and this was after industry giants Star Oil and Goil this morning moved to battle it out as the preferred oil company for consumers in terms of pricing. More in this report.
The second biggest player in the industry, Goil, took the lead this morning by reducing the price of petrol from 6 a.m., dropping it to 9 cedis, 99 pesos per litre. It also cut the price of diesel to 9 cedis, 99 pesos per litre. Goil, in a notice issued this morning, noted that the reduction is in line with what it described as discounted pricing policy, which will apply to more than 150 service stations across the country. Star Oil followed, announcing the price reduction from 8 a.m. this morning, with petrol selling at 9 cedis 97 pesos, while diesel is going for 10 cedis 97 pesos per litre. For some, today's price movements can be linked to the competition, as Goil is now also seeking to implement a pricing model similar to that of Star Oil. Other major oil marketing firms have also told Joy Business that they will move to reduce prices by close of today. It's believed that this price reduction approach helped push Star Oil to become the market leader over the past year. This is the second time this month that prices have gone down at the pumps.
And pretty soon we shall get an expert from the National Petroleum Authority, the head of economic regulation and planning at the National Petroleum Authority, Abbas Ibrahim Tasunti. Pretty soon he shall join us via Zoom for us to have a conversation on the back of that. And it, of course, follows the drop in fuel prices at the pumps. Already we know Goil and Star Oil are competing for consumers, basically, to purchase their products. And we know, as it stands now, prices of fuel has dropped drastically at the pumps, and we've got to tell you that we shall be speaking to the head of economic planning at the National Petroleum Authority for us to have a conversation on the back of this. Abbas Ibrahim Tasunti joins us via Zoom for us to have a conversation. And Abbas Ibrahim Tasunti, thank you so much for joining us here on Business Live, and good to see you. It's a happy new year. It's been a while we spoke, right? But first off, what do you make of the price movement for the second pricing window we are learning?
Hello, good evening. I hope you can hear me.
I can.
Can you see me as well? Hello?
Yes, I can. I can.
Okay, so we've seen some price reductions on the market, and this is largely due to the movement of price on the international market and also the performance of the Ghana cedi. As we all know, the Ghana cedi has been quite stable and actually appreciating for some time now. And the exchange rate is a key factor in pricing of petroleum products. Hence, its performance always directly affects prices on the domestic market. And so since we've seen some reductions on the world market, over the past, I think, 4 windows, we've seen consistent reduction in prices. So this has contributed to the reduction at the pumps we are observing right now.
But will you describe these movements as the real benefit of the price deregulation policy? Is that the case?
Yes, it's a contributory factor. I think the real benefit we are seeing really is with the competition we are seeing amongst the oil marketing companies. You observe that in as much as the world market prices will always have an impact, and also the exchange will have an impact on the market. Before price regulation, you would always see only one price on the market. So you would always see just, if, for example, Goil sets a price, that's the price you see across the country. Or if MPA announces a price, we put it down. You see that all oil marketing companies were always selling at the price that the MPA has announced. But now with the price regulation policy, we have realized that there's keen competition among the marketers. And this is what has resulted in some oil marketing companies selling way lower than others. So consumers are benefiting from this competition that we are seeing on the market amongst the oil marketing companies.
But some oil marketing companies are pushing for the scrapping of the price floor. Are you going to consider that?
So we've heard some of these comments, but it's important we understand the relevance of the price floor and why it was introduced in the first place. So if you recall, 2 years ago, the discussion about unfair price undercutting and unfair market practices came up. And this was because we had done an assessment of the price regulation policy since it was implemented in 2015. And one of the major concerns that came up from both the oil marketing companies and the bulk distribution companies at the time was price undercutting. We must understand that in as much as the market is deregulated, the regulator, MPA, is there to protect both the consumer and the petroleum service provider, which is the oil marketing company in this case. If we don't have fair from the competition on the market and the market collapses, we are going to struggle as an economy. And therefore, the regulator's job is to ensure that there's what we call full cost recovery of investment. So there's a policy, there's a pricing formula that is used by all oil marketing companies. And in this formula, there are certain components that the oil marketing companies control, and there are certain components they have no control over. So if you look at that formula, you realize that there's the FOB price, that's world market price, which we have a way to determine that there are other costs that are fixed and apply to all players. The deregulation actually allows the oil marketing companies to determine their own margins, and that is where the competition is. So if you look at the price floor formula that we set, the price floors that we set, it excludes, and we've explained this a number of times, it excludes the margins of the marketers, and it also excludes the international oil suppliers and traders, their premiums. So it still allows the players and the marketers to set their own margins, but the floor is determined using the world market price, which applies to all of them, and the fixed taxes and the levies and the margins that apply to all of them. So as the marketers, we expect that there should be a minimum price that nobody should sell below, because this affects the sustainability of the market. And indeed, that was why it became a concern, and therefore we had to discuss with them. And after a number of considerations, the price floor was actually what seems to be the solution to this problem. So as we speak today, whatever market price floor we publish, and if you've seen the publication from us, we make it clear that this excludes the margins of the marketers, and that is where their profitability and their competition comes from. In fact, we don't even expect a marketer to operate at zero margin, because then how do they cater for the cost of doing business? So with the price floor that excludes their margins, they'll be able to operate at a level and add their margins to the price that they have to be able to come up with the price. And that's why if you look at the markets today, you hardly see anybody selling at the same level as the price floor, because there are costs that they have to incur. And when we have instances where some companies sell below the price floor, there are certain regulations and guidelines that indicate or dictate what we should do in such circumstances.
Then again, they believe that prices at the pumps could go down further if it had not been this policy. Are they right?
So like I said, if you look at the formula, it will be very weird to see anyone selling below the price floor, because as a marketer, you buy the product from an importer, you add the taxes, levies, and margins before you add the margins to be able to determine the price. So if you are looking at the formula and this price floor already excludes your margins, then how do you sell at a price that's below what we have to be, which is the price floor? So that becomes a question that we have to look at, and that's why we spoke about sustainability of the industry. If companies are forced because of competition to be desperate and sell below the price floor, it raises the question that the regulator must be concerned about. Do we just shut our eyes to the unfair practices and say that because people just want to sell below the price floor, we should allow that? We came in with this regulation to address a problem, and that problem still persists, that if companies are not able to sell at and recover their cost as we are supposed to ensure, then there's a problem. And if this industry suffers, remember that the industry is very tied to the financial sector as well. So if you allow companies to sell below at unreasonable prices, it's going to affect the industry, and our supply of petroleum products may be challenged, and that's what we don't want. And therefore, what we have to be, to a large extent, addresses the problem. And I think the COMAC, the Seaboard, all of them have set this policy, and therefore we are implementing it already.
Another school of thought believes that we are seeing these prices due to favorable international development. Really, can the local market accommodate a spike in global crude price hike?
I think we've seen local prices rise when the global price have also risen. If you remember when Russia attacked Ukraine and prices shot up, we were faced with that challenge and we had to bear that. The thing about price regulation is that what it is what we get. So if the price on the world markets go up, nobody has control over that. You have to buy the products at that level. And that's why we always pray that our exchange rate also plays is better and is always stable, so that we don't have a double hit. So at the current, for the past few months, we've had prices on the global market drop. As we speak today, prices are rising because of some of the issues that happen in the global market. And they will translate into the price on the domestic market. Even over the past 1 year, even though we've had a lot of price falls, you know that there have been certain windows when prices have gone up. And that's a direct impact of what's happening in the global market.
And as we wrap up the conversation, what is the NPA doing around the quality of fuel being sold at some service stations and checking adulteration?
I think we have a department, that is the Petroleum Product Marking Scheme, that ensures that the quality of petroleum product is always intact. If there is any station that good or is unable to comply, there are sanctions against them. We consistently go to the field and we take samples from the stations. You know, we put markers in the products when they are loaded from the depots as they are taken to the filling stations. Our team goes around and takes samples and do on the spot checks. In the station that fails, we take action against them. And so to a large extent, as for arbitration, we know that the full market program must address that. But it doesn't mean that we have a perfect system. Every now and then, when our teams go and they find out stations who have not complied, actions are taken against them. But we also encourage the consuming public to report to us if they have bought any product and they have a challenge with the quality. They can report to us and we'll take immediate action.
Head of Economic Regulation and Planning at NPA, Abbas Tasunti, thank you so much for your time here on Business Live. Still within the space, Chief Executive Officer of the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation, Dr. Tony Obin, has declared 2026 as the year of action for the Petroleum Hub. According to Dr. Obin, 2026 is the year when the hard work invested in the project over the years will translate into tangible on-site action in the Jomoro municipality of the Western region.
This year, 2026, is a critical year for the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation. This is a year that we want to see action. We want to see that we move from talk to action. And we're very hopeful that this would happen, especially thanks to the vision of His Excellency, the President. The President has been very supportive. You know, people don't see the open support that he gives us, but really he's been extremely supportive of the hub. He invited us to do a presentation to him, and after that, what has happened has been very massive and been very much in line with where we want to go. So we are very hopeful that this year is going to be the year where we move from talk to some action. We have also seen the unflinching support of our Minister, Dr. John Jinapo. Our Minister has been very supportive, has always been reassuring, been looking for opportunities for this project to take off, and we're very happy and grateful to him.
You're still watching Business Live. We have more for you after this break. Hello again, welcome back to Business Live. Implementation of the artificial intelligence system at the country's ports is expected to begin from February 1, 2026. This is part of ongoing reforms expected to enhance efficiency at the port. Speaking to journalists on the implementation of the new system known as Publican, Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Sapon, hinted that all processes are cleared for the rollout in February. More in this report.
As part of the processes to get the system rolled out successfully, the Ministry of Finance and the Ghana Revenue Authority engaged stakeholders, including the media, to take their feedback on its implementation. According to the GRA, this will be managed by the Customs Division and will enhance efficiency. Commissioner General Anthony Kwesi Sapon told Joy Business in an interview that the road is cleared for a kickoff from February.
Operations. Indeed, we've done a lot of work in the course of 2025. We've done our proof of concept, we've done pilot, we've gone to Parliament to seek the necessary approvals, and we believe that we are set to implement this. So on 1st February, we are set to implement this tool at our entry points. That is going to, one, help our officers to process declarations efficiently and faster. We also believe that it's going to help us to bring parity in terms of determination of duties, and so that all importers will be able to have to pay the duties as appropriately. And also, thirdly, to ensure that we augment and raise the necessary revenues that we need for the state.
Deputy Minister for Finance, Farmers and Pimyako, is positive that the system will eliminate under-invoicing at the port.
Companies like Nutrade Limited, EasyP Enterprise, Me Port Trading Agency, BD Nibana Limited, Rafano Frozen Foods, to mention a few, have been under-declaring and misdescribing the value and type of the goods imported. And all these people have been confronted and they have confessed to these crimes. It is against this background that government recognizes the urgent need for a more advanced digital inspection and analytics framework, one that can inspect every shipment document, cross-check it with reliable global sources, match transacting entities to identify high risk and fraudulent shipments in real time.
Government is expecting to increase revenue by more than 40% from the port.
First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Zakari Mumuni, has described Ghana's improved economic performance as timely and positioned to attract more strategic foreign investment. He made the remarks at the launch of the ACI World Congress. Here's a report.
Has officially secured the bid to host the ACI World Congress 2026, making the return of the prestigious global financial markets event to sub-Saharan Africa after nearly 2 decades. The Congress will take place in May 2026, bringing together financial market professionals, policymakers, and industry leaders from more than 60 countries. Speaking at the official launch, the First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Zakari Mumuni, described the achievement as a major milestone for Ghana, noting that it underscores the country's growing relevance and credibility within the global financial markets.
Ghana's selection to host this prestigious event marks a significant milestone for our country and for our financial markets. It is indeed a testament to Ghana's growing reputation as a stable and credible financial hub. The Bank of Ghana is indeed proud to support this initiative. Hosting the Congress provides a unique platform to strengthen our financial infrastructure, deepen international partnerships, and showcase Ghana's progress in global finance. Collaboration between regulators and market participants is essential to maintain the trust and promote transparency and advance innovation in our markets.
President of the ACI Ghana, Lawrence Buampom, described the hosting right as a significant opportunity for Ghana to showcase the depth and resilience of its financial markets while strengthening its position in global finance.
It's a very big opportunity and critical for us, especially at the time we find ourselves as an economy. After DDP, we've seen a lot of efforts by the government to put us on that path of recovery. And of course, we saw how inflation performed last year. We've seen some stability in currency. And of course, a lot of investors are asking themselves what's happening in Ghana. They want to be a part of this success story. So we think that this conference or this Congress is at the right time to give Ghana that visibility, that appeal that we need on the international markets. I think it's very timely for us. It opens our market up. It brings in a lot of capital inflows for investors who are looking to enter or access the Ghanaian market, and not just Ghana, Africa as a whole.
The ACI World Congress is the flagship event of the ACI Financial Markets Association, serving as a key platform for dialogue, networking, and partnership building among global financial market stakeholders. Ghana's selection makes it the second African country to host the Congress and the first to do so in 17 years.
Thanks so much for watching Business Life. I am Pius Kojun Baka. Beyond the Numbers is next.